we do have to remind everybody that we've known each other for 55 years.
You got it right this time. 55, big one.
55,
It's huge.
which is so cool. Which is so cool.
It really,
And
really is.
it is. And I mean, I think we're, in a way, Peter. No, not in a way. I'm going to just say right now, I'm happier than I've ever been since I was young.
Well, Alice, I heard the hesitation. I heard the words. I heard the hesitation. Can I throw in mine on that?
Yes, you
Well,
can.
because here's what I'm thinking in ebb and flow. I said those very words to myself walking down the street in the midst of the hurricane recovery. And I said, I've never felt so happy. I was so energized. Then I thought, oh my God, how can you say that when, your wife has passed away? And I'll tell you why. Because one had nothing to do with the other. The love that we had, the life that we had, the loss that I had is just as real as it can be. But talking about the ebb and flow, the flow, we'll call it, of being in the midst of kind of an energized situation where I was meeting people and kind of semi helping people out and really kind of just trying to survive myself. It was very energizing. And it was part of what we were talking about earlier, learning more about yourself, learning to know yourself. So when you were just saying what you were saying, go ahead and say it. You're happier now than ever, or what were you saying? Happiest time of your life?
Yes. And I believe it's because I'm accepting the ebb and flow of life.
Right.
And I think that's what my father modeled for me so beautifully.
Well, everything you said, I mean, I knew Chick in a certain level, in a certain way, but also obviously it's just as your father. But now I'm learning more about him as well. And like you said, he was a very accepting man. He was very supportive of you.
Well, and when he was very young, his mother died, and that was very traumatic, but he had all these siblings and a father that loved him. And he just went through all the ebbs and flows of life with acceptance.
That's very well said, very well put. Yeah, accepting it, accept reality as what it is, and not see it as all good or all bad, but just kind of like you're saying, part of the ebb and flow.
Yeah, he just
I,
accepted loss, and he accepted good times and difficult times and loss. He just accepted all of those so beautifully. Not because he did it, it's just who he was. It wasn't like he was saying, well, I'm going to accept this.
right,
It was
right.
just who he was as a human,
Who he was, yeah, how he handled things.
how he handled things. And I'm grateful for that because I want to move that way as I get older and older.
Well, right, exactly. Don't we all? You're right. And, like I've kind of made a joke about death as my hobby, which I'm saying that as I do many things, kind of half tongue in cheek. But I was telling you earlier in the other one that, old people used to freak me out. Going into a nursing home would freak me out. Now I'm doing it as a volunteer. I look forward to talking to these people. I look forward to our conversations. They're just sweet, nice people. They're in a different phase of life, but no, but now I'm much closer to that time, that phase, and now I just feel like, well, this is such a blessing that I can share a little happiness with them, even for just a few minutes in a week. And but I kind of try to be consistent that way, and it's opened up a whole new world for me. And as I say, I'm not. I can't say I'm not completely not afraid of old people, but I've changed my opinion and my feelings about them. And like you said, they're not old; they're just older. But you know, I think there are benefits to as we get older. There are benefits to our understanding of life, and that's I think what
Um,
we're talking about.
and somehow it's more peaceful.
Yes,
I'm not chasing, well, when you're 19, 20, you're looking for your future,
right.
right, you're planning go to college or go to tech school or get a job, whatever you're doing. And then are you going to get married? Are you not? Are you going to do this or that? And then after you've launched your family, however your family may look, after you've launched that family, then you can just sit back and enjoy the ride. And yet, I do sit back and enjoy the ride, but I also don't sit for very long.
No,
I'm just up and moving. I love to be up and moving. It's just my personality. It's not right or wrong, it's just who I am, but it's just I think we have it easier in some ways, maybe more difficult in others, but easier in some ways because we're more accepting and less judgmental than our predecessors. Do you agree?
I do. I do. I think we've touched on certain reasons why technology and so forth, the music doesn't go away, or we're not as divided as we used to be as far as our generations. I was thinking about something while you were saying it. I'm going to see if I can recoup this. Um,
You can, Peter. I
See,
believe in
well,
you.
no, see, okay,
I
thank you.
believe.
Thank you. Well, here's because what you were saying, the difference between the 20s, let's say, and the 70s, because I just did a little post about love in the 70s, not the 1970s, the 70s, ones, twos, threes, like that.
Oh,
My point being, that is it possible to fall in love again? And is it okay? And is it going to be the same or different? So let me answer a couple of those things because when you're young, like you said, I think there's a tremendous amount of pressure to want to fall in love, and all the music aims that way. And we just lost Brian Wilson, and to me, the Beach Boys was the love music of our times. Beatles were the fun music. Um, but my point in saying this is, yeah, you wanted to fall in love. Were you going to get married? Are you going to get married? What's going to happen? And women are thinking about that. Guys are thinking about that. Are you going to be able to get a job? Make a living? All these things. Now, like you said, most of all that's behind us. For the most part, we made it. We did it. I have no regrets really. Everything that was great. What I'm raising the question right now is a year ago, it was Pete and Tess, Pete and Tess, Pete and Tess. That's who we were. That's who I was. That was our identity. That was my identity. I joked with a neighbor. I said, it's like a tattoo. All right. Just re-
oh, that's so sweet. I
well,
love that.
oh my God. Well, thanks.
I love the tattoo. That's so
Well,
sweet.
I meant it in a good way too. I meant it in a good
Oh,
way.
that's a good thing. I
But
love it.
what I'm noticing in myself is that more recently, in the last weeks or months, I started signing off as Pete and Zeke because the people who know me
Oh, I hadn't
now,
noticed that.
yeah, Pete
Oh, I
and
hadn't
Zeke,
noticed that.
yeah, because the people who know me in the neighborhood, around and about, whatever, they know Pete and Zeke, Pete and Zeke. And that's how am, now working with the agency where I'm volunteering. It's very much Pete and Zeke. So what I'm trying to say to you, Alice, is that that was a gradual move from Pete and Tess to Pete and Zeke, and I don't know if this is a weakness or a strength or whatever, but I feel very comfortable doing this, and people love Zeke, and I ride on his coattails. But what I'm trying to say and ask you is, could there be a Pete and Sue, or a Pete and Megan, or a Pete and Jennifer? Could there be a new person who I start to identify myself with? And is that something that I'm not craving it like I think I did in the 20s, or wondering if it'll ever happen, but I am asking you as part of this discussion, you know, is it possible to fall in love again in your later years?
It is. It definitely is. It definitely is. And it's it's a different experience because you're not 20s, 30s, planning a family and, launching your new life. It's sharing good times and being there for each other. And, you know, it's a, it's love, but well, it's it's not more mature, but it's more, you're seeking it out for what you enjoy, not what you're planning for the future.
Wow. Okay.
Is that it? I think that's it.
Well, I was giving
In
you
other
room there
words,
because you really were thinking about that, trying to think and trying to find the words for it. It's, I guess, like I was saying, and like you said, happiest time of my life. I didn't mean that as a slant on Tess, or like, oh, well, I'm over it.
no,
I didn't
no, no,
mean it that
no.
way at all. But it was a discovery of, oh, I am happy again, or I am happy, not again really. I'm just happy, and now
I think it's
in
just being connected, Peter.
right.
You're connected to someone else, and you can give them joy, and they can give you joy. And it's not with the same expectations.
Not with the same expectations. You're not trying to start a family, raise a family, find a career.
Exactly.
But I think you're exactly right. What I have found, and I've said it to myself, I'll say it to you. I just love love. I love loving somebody. I feel better if I'm making somebody else happy, if I can do something for them. It's just something I'm realizing about myself.
And you know what? You're the one that helped me frame something for another friend on a whole different topic.
That's fine.
But you and I were talking about Jethro Tull having the song "It's Only the Giving That Makes You What You Are," and then he has another song, "It's Only the Taking That Makes You What You Are." And a friend of mine was saying, that she didn't want her friends to have to help her and do this and that for her. And I said, you know what? I get it, sort of, although I'm not there yet, but I do kind of get it. But if you take away the taking, you're taking away someone else's joy. In other words,
Wow.
if you say to me, I want to pick you up and take you out to dinner, and I feel like, I can't drive, I'm just pretending I can't drive and I can't do this and that. I don't want you to feel like you have to do that. And so I feel guilty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's taking away your enjoyment
Right.
because and I'm a tall girl. I love Jethro Tull. And I did find both of those songs. The first one, "It's Only the Giving That Makes You Who You Are," and then "It's Only the Taking." And I realized it's kind of the ebb and flow, Peter.
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah. Well,
And I think that's so important to remember that it's just really great to be able to receive. You want to give love, but it's also wonderful to be able to receive it.
Well, I appreciate hearing that, and I hear what you're saying. It's easier for me to hear it about another person, but I think you're right about something here because I've said, every artist needs an audience. The audience does play a role, um, because without the audience, the artist doesn't have any feedback. Even if they're doing their art for their own purpose, their own way, it still feels good to have somebody appreciate it. And I think with this love thing, as I said, I don't want to smother somebody with it and make it uncomfortable for either one of us. But at the same time, I find such enjoyment in saying nice things, or what I can't really even say what it is exactly. It's just uh if I send them a link and they like the song, or they like the whatever it is I sent them, the movie reel. It's just a matter of, or like you just said, we went out for dinner, had a great time, just sitting there talking and swapping stories. And what I've been learning and what I've been experiencing is I feel that way when we're just sitting around doing nothing, just talking to each other. And it's just an enjoyable time getting to know somebody. And that's really 98% of it. Getting to know somebody, but also feeling like you want to know them and want to care about them. And but the part you're saying might be important for me to hear too, because maybe because she'll say, do you want a glass of tea? Do you want this or that? She's very thoughtful. And, instead of saying, no, it's no, I'm fine. Maybe it's good to be a little bit on the receiving end, you know, and that's also she wants to pay her way and everything. Oh no, don't worry about it. But I don't want. I've said this to so I can say it to you. I don't want to wine and dine you. I'm not trying to win you over in some kind of plastic way. Let me show you a good time. Not that at all. I feel though that it's something I can do. Let's put it this way. And if you want to treat me to lunch or anything, or just we share the expenses, that's great too. Anyway, it's just been interesting. It's been an interesting thing,
It
me
is.
getting to know a new person who I care about. You have found Peter, and you're spending all this quality time together and doing a lot of things together. And that's why I'm asking you. I think that's part of our conversation as suddenly single, losing our spouse, finding new relationships. I won't even call it love necessarily, but new relationships. And yeah, damn it, it might be love. you know? It's
And
it's no
and I
disrespect to our former love. That's part of what I'm
no,
saying. Okay.
no,
Okay.
no, because that is a whole nother chapter in our lives.
Right. Right.
And I think the beauty of it is when you meet someone else and you're enjoying each other, you give to them and they give to you.
Yes.
It's like, you know, not that it wasn't that way with our former relationships, it
Right.
was, but this is without the encumbrance of marriage, careers, raising kids,
Oh
all
man.
those. I mean, I look, it's funny. A lot of my friends and I say we look back and think, how did we ever do it?
I know. But I,
We were just running all the time. And
but God knows, Alice, talking to you is so great because you just said it so well. The encumbrance, because that's really in a way what it is. They're wonderful things, but they certainly are encumbrance because they weigh on you, because and people, well, anyway, we don't need to talk about that so much. Just our thing tonight is the ebb and flow, um
yes, and
and learning to live again, learning to love again, and learning to love yourself in the process. That's part of
and
it.
that's the
Accept
beauty of it.
yourself.
Okay, Peter, I'll leave you with this funny bunny.
All right.
Years ago, I was with some three of my really good friends at the beach, and we were just having the best time, just letting our hair down. And I said, I love myself. I had never said that before. But you know what's funny about it, or interesting, or wonderful? I do love who I am.
Yes.
Not every day, every moment, every week, every month, every year. I enjoy the fact that I can celebrate myself. And I think that's what it is more for me now than loving myself. I just can celebrate the fact that I enjoy letting my hair down and acting funny with myself.
That's it.
And
That's it, Alice.
that, that helps you through the ebb and the flow.
Helps you through the ebb and the flow. And if you love yourself or respect yourself or whatever, then you literally, as we're talking about this, you literally are more able to give to another person because you're not constantly seeking validation or, you
Oh
know,
my gosh, I had never thought of that,
well,
Peter. Oh my
because,
gosh, you're right.
well, it's true because the irony
It
of it
is
is,
true.
you want to be needed, you want to be loved, whatever. But I've learned this part, and I'm saying it. You can love to be needed in a way, but I'll tell you, it'll wear you out after a while. This person that I'm talking about she is so like, well, is she like you? No, it doesn't really matter. She's like you in this way. She has a lot of friends, and she loves her friends and cares about them and takes care of them. And I feel like this gives you a fuller life that you can then also share with your other person, who might become your significant other or might not. But the most important thing is you're a full person in and of yourself. That's really what's
You
important.
know, and that's what my dad achieved,
Yeah.
Peter. This is brilliant. I mean, I love because I never had it said that way. How did you just say it? You said you achieve yourself as a whole person within yourself.
Yeah, you are a whole person within yourself. You, like you said, your thing was one day you just, shouted out loud, "I love myself." And it was a discovery. But it's also a very important discovery because when you love yourself, doesn't mean you're arrogant, self-centered bullshit like that. It means you're comfortable with yourself, therefore you can love another person and you can give to another person because
I
you're
hope
not
you're recording this.
constantly seeking from them, you know. It
That
might
is so. This is, please tell me you're recording this
I'm recording. I don't know if it'll make it, but
because this, even if it's just between you and me,
yeah.
this is phenomenal. I just, yes. In other words, Peter, you can be alone, 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 alone. And because you're comfortable and love yourself, it's okay.
Alice, you're funneling back to something right in the beginning that I thought I heard, and now I'm going to repeat it. And like you said, it's just between you and me. When we first started this conversation, which was over an hour ago, you said to me that you had an extra 24 hours. Suddenly you found out because of changing plans, whatever, you had an extra 24, 48 hours alone with yourself in your home. And you were so happy to have that extra time to be
And
by
this is
yourself.
new.
That was new,
Peter,
Alice.
this is groundbreaking.
That was new. I was thrilled
I
to hear that.
I know I've been having so much fun. Well, today was lunch club day, and now I'm really okay, Peter. One thing I'm not working on. I want to do is I have girlfriends in the neighborhood, and they want to do things with me. And so one of them said, "Can you go to the pool next week?" And so I said, "Yes." So I'm planning things in the future
Yeah.
with my girlfriends here because Peter, they're so important to me. Peter is very important to me, but they are also very important to me. And I don't want to give up this part of my life just, to go to Cary every weekend.
There you have it, Alice. There you
So
have it.
I'm Bedford. I call her Bedford Mary because there's Chuck and Mary Shaver Mary, and there's Bedford Mary. But Bedford Mary likes to go to the pool, and I had this special treatment on my hair, and I can't go to the pool till Saturday, and I'll be in Cary by then. But my whole point is, she wants to go to the gym, she wants to go to the pool, and I thought, this Peter has never, ever tried to latch me into Cary at all with him.
Right.
He's never said, "Oh, don't go home. I miss you. I love you." No, no, no. I'm the one that was needy.
Based on your
And
own
I'll,
reports,
what?
based on what you were telling me just weeks ago, which kind of surprised me that you felt lonely when you were home alone. You needed people. This,
Yes,
and then, like I said, this particular conversation, you were suddenly saying, "Oh, I have more time. Oh, fantastic, great." That
I
I thought
know,
was a
Peter.
change. Was great.
And today I thought, oh my God. But Peter, my entire life, my mother used to say, "Why can't you play alone? Why do you always have to have somebody over?" It's just been my go to. But I've also been investigating something, not investigating, thinking about when I was 7 years old. It was 2 years after my granddaddy died, and my grandmother moved across the street from us. And I asked my brother recently, I said, "Jay, when did I start spending the night with Gran?" He said, "When you were 7 years old." I said, "Well, what was my job?" He said, "You were supposed to take care of her." I said, "What?" I said, "I never knew I was supposed to take care of Gran. I just thought I was there to watch what
Yeah, Days of Our
Amos and
Lives.
Andy,
Yeah.
Amos and Andy, and all these shows."
Right, right.
Jay said, "No, you were supposed to be there in case she needed you." Peter, she never needed me, but I've kind of been thinking about that lately, not in a negative way, but today I was shocked when Peter said he was going to try to change the tickets Thursday night. And then he said, "Oh, I can change them to Friday." I was like, "Oh my God, I have 2 more days here."
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
love my house, Peter.
Right.
I love
See,
it.
Alice.
And so I'm growing, right?
Yes, and also, like you say, and I'll take credit for it. I said, don't sell your house, Alice. I told you, do not sell your house until at least you talk to me, because I want you to have your Alice, Alice McCracken Hurst. You can be my best friend. You can be Peter's best lover, or best significant other, but you can still be you. And I think you're more giving and more whatever it is. Uh, I need better words, but like taking care of your grandmother, it didn't mean you had to spoon feed her or do anything. It meant you were there. Your energy being there was taking care of her, was giving her a sense of being, a sense of purpose, a sense
Well,
of
and Peter, for the first time in my life, I started thinking, is this why I'm a giver?
yeah,
And let me just tell you one thing right now. My mother was a tough nut to crack. She was not easy to live with. I never begrudged going to my grandmother's house because Gran never got mad at me the whole time I lived there.
yeah.
Never. And I was named for her, and she was just so sweet to me. But I started thinking, Peter, from age 7 to like, well, I remember my high school boyfriend taking me to see what was that show? In Cold Blood, that movie. I came back to Grand's and I had a nightmare and I clawed the blinds in my bedroom. So my point is I was spending the night with her when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And that's not bad or good. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I've been kind of contemplating how that shaped me.
Yeah. Sure. That's part of the beauty of being this old, Alice, is that you get a chance to review all these years in your life and kind of re-see them. You know.
And you know what I'm going to do this week? I was always called my grandmother was always called Big Alice, and I was Little Alice with all of my mother's side of the family. And so now I'm saying Big William and Little William for Asher and Bennett as a joke.
Yeah.
And if they don't like it, I'll stop it.
They might not
But
like it, Alice. I'll just throw that.
what'd you say?
I said they may not like that. You said something about them being shorter, the brothers, whatever. Being big and little has different impact on different people. I wouldn't necessarily go there.
Okay, I won't go there.
I mean, you can, but I'm just giving you a little
No,
thought there.
no, thank you, Peter, because I don't want to do anything to do any damage. But today I thought I want to have a picture of me and my grandmother, who I spent 5 out of 7 nights a week for decades with.
Wow. See, I'm
And
learning
and
something
I'm going
about
to
you every
send you.
time, Alice. I don't even know who the hell you are. Every time we talk, I learn more stuff I never knew. Oh
Well,
my God,
see, my
Riot.
my grandfather died when I was 5 years old, and it was sad, and it was probably it could have been maybe avoided, but Jay told me, my brother told me that when I 2 years later, see, he remembers all this because he's 4 years older than me. He said 2 years later, my mother had bought a house with Grand's money across the street from us. So at age 7, for 10 years until I went to college, and I'm not, Peter, I'm not at all sad because I loved my grandmother. I adored her beyond words. And she was much easier to live with than my mother. But but I I was there every night with her for 10 years, from 7 to 17. And I've just recently thought, how did that change my life? I don't look at it as a negative at all, but it did take me away from my mother and dad and my brother. But I was supposed to, I just thought I was there to entertain her. I didn't know I was supposed to take care of her.
Well, I see the entertainment as also the taking care of.
Well, I guess so. And I'm going to send you a photo. I'm going to frame these two photos of her. I won't send you my grandfather, but I'll send you my grandmother. It's so cute of me as a baby. Yes, it's all
Oh my
about me,
God.
Peter. It's all about me.
Oh my God. You're such
But it
adorable
is
baby.
cute of me
Oh,
because I
okay.
don't have. No, because Peter, the first baby picture of me when I was adopted is not cute. But
Okay.
this one, now
Well,
where is it?
okay. Listen, Alice. Let's end this conversation. Seriously, I swear to God, I think we could talk all. I don't even know about all night. Wouldn't even cover it. Let's just say the ebb and the flow has flown out of this
But
particular
I think it was a
conversation.
good topic.
Well, I think it's a great topic. You let's go. Let's come back to it. Oh,
Well,
This ebb and flow is a good topic. Oh yeah, it was. But
yeah, I thought it
let's.
was a good topic.
You've got 24 hours or 48 hours left of your freedom. Enjoy the hell out of it. have lunch with your buddies. Enjoy
Well, I already
yourself.
did that. I had that today.
Well, all
But
right.
tomorrow, but tomorrow, my neighbor across the street from New Jersey,
Right.
no, from Long Island, is coming over to hang out with me.
There you go. So you've got,
But Peter, I just have to say, I'm so glad that you're having fun with Jennifer.
yeah, yeah. I am.
And you know what?
I'm very happy
And
because
the thing is,
like you just said, it's fun, it's exciting, it's new, and I asked you, and I know, based on our conversation and whatever, it's not being disrespectful, and it's not getting over. In fact, it's just being able to expand and continue to care about somebody. And I feel that way about her. I care about her, and I don't know if she's gonna like. Oh my God, we got to stop this damn conversation because it can go on forever. You know,
Peter,
just
you're the best thing that's happened to me in 10 years or 20 or 30 or 40. No,
55 years.
seriously.
Yeah,
No, I'm serious.
yeah,
I can tell you anything
yeah.
and everything, and it's so great. So have a wonderful night, and I hope. But would you? I just need. Well, maybe I can have Daniel help me. I don't know how to get. See, I got to two of those other
I'll just send you the
YouTube
links, and
videos. I cannot. I don't know why I'm retarded with this.
no, you're
I'm
not,
just
Alice.
not doing it
I'll just
enough.
send you the link. No, for
Well, I
one.
know, but I've got to figure this out. I'm not that stupid.
No, it's a whole nother technical issue. So don't worry about that. I'll just send you the links to the last whatever 8 episodes of validation, and if I ever get around to doing this, the 3 or 4 episodes of ebb and flow. All
I
right,
love the ebb and flow.
I love
But
it.
you sleep tight
I
and tell
will.
Zeke. Oh, but Peter, I do want to tell you one more thing. Listen, listen.
I'm
You could
listening.
bring, if you ever want to bring Jennifer to Raleigh for a concert or
Yeah.
something, I'm always gone on the weekends. You could have a whole house to yourself.
Well,
I mean,
I'm not ruling anything out. I really am not. I'm
if
not going
that
to say
comes
yes or no to anything
about,
because
it may never come about.
if you ever come this way, obviously I want you to meet her and just be here will be great. But
Well,
yeah,
and
I think since we
I
have a new
just,
person in the group in the mix, and I think
and
you all would just hit it off.
I just told Asher, I said, please let me know when I can come see. Peter, I have never gone to see Asher alone since I moved here, and that's not good. It's not good. So I told him yesterday, I said, please let me know when I can come see. So it may be that I loop up to Hendersonville, but I just want you to know if you and Jennifer ever see anything going on in the capital city of your state, Raleigh, my baby, my little
Oh my
precious
God.
Raleigh. But I'm just saying,
I hear you. I hear you.
I'm gone every weekend.
Yeah.
You could stay here for
Yeah.
free. I'm just
Can't beat
offering
that.
that.
You can't
No,
beat
I
that.
mean, but you have to want to come here for whatever reason,
That's
like
right.
a concert or something, or the North Carolina Symphony. But Peter, who would have ever thought you were with Patty Choquette? I was with Dave. And now, oh my God, I think it's so great that we have each other as friends.
That's a fact. We've outlived everybody. I gotta go, Alice. I swear to God. I know I'm gonna say the wrong thing. All right.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night. Good night. See you
Bye,
later.
sweetie.